Hello, this is
Hi.
Ainhoa Manero from Stern Abogados, and I'm here, as I told you, with Arjun. He's a client from us. He was a researcher, and in the middle of his researcher program, well, in the more or less in the very beginning, you. Uh, he wanted to check some alternative because he wanted to do his own business. He felt prepared to do his own business, so he wanted to know if it was possible to change his researcher visa before ending the program and starting doing her own business. So I think it was really interesting to interview him. So thank you, Arjun, to be here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good at home. Can't go
Okay.
out, but still hanging in there.
So, where are you? Where do you live? Tell us about.
um, well, in Spain, I live in Almeria.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest agriculture greenhouse, one of the biggest in the world. That
Okay,
suits.
because you will tell us about, but it is because of your business, right?
Yes, yes, that's correct. I'm an agronomist.
Okay.
My profession is ag consulting. um, Whatever crops, greenhouses, agriculture related issues for farmers or for the companies if they have to find some kind of clients or want to introduce their products, various aspects of agriculture. So I was, before coming to Spain, I was in United States
Okay.
for 9 years, and after that I came here as a researcher, with tied up with the company. And it's just one moment that it clicks in that you have to want to become an entrepreneur. uh,
Yeah.
and that kicked
How
in.
long were you as a researcher here?
uh, 3 months.
3 months, yes. I
Yes.
remember that it was very little time when you wanted to change. So it was 3 months of researcher that you came here. We get well, you get it. I didn't know you by then. You get the researcher visa that it is in the same. I'm going to tell this to all those who don't know it. Is very similar to the highly qualified worker visa, so it's in the same law, has the same rights, so you can come here as a tourist and apply it from here, or you can apply it from your own country or the country where you are living at the consulate. So you come with the program of researcher, and you can bring family too. You didn't bring, but or you did. No,
No,
no.
no, I haven't.
Okay. I saw you there, and I say I
No,
didn't do
I was
anything for the
thinking that
family.
you are going to ask me, so I was getting prepared. But I no, I haven't. Uh,
Okay, but if a researcher wants, can bring the family for all of you if you are interested. Uh, and normally it is a program of about 10 months, something like that. So normally people are here for with that residency, and then you can renew it if you continue as a researcher. But in this case, this was not the plan, or well, the plan changed very soon.
yes, very rapidly. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of lost, and I
Okay.
felt like, I was doing the research, and when you know what to do the next, like, to be a business man and to start up something new, because you have the plan, but at the same time on the immigration side you don't have no clue.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
is
something that I was
difficult in
trying to
Spain.
do.
So because you were before in the US, so tell me about the difference, because I think from my perspective is that the US maybe is tougher, but is everything well defined. So really, if you start reading, you find what you have to do. I feel that in Spain is a little bit less explained by the government. What do you think about it?
uh Spain, because that brings a lot of memories.
Yeah.
In US, Well, it's like a setup platform. You know it. Everything is up to the mark, and you don't have it. If you miss the date, that's it. You have to go
Yes,
again
they
with
are
a new
tougher
date.
for sure.
Yeah, they are very strict, and in a way, you prepare yourself very well with the US, because and that's something that you have seen in a lot of immigration from the early time, and people from all over the countries, all over the world moves to United States for that. So you have that information very well. But Spain was something I had no clue. And first of all, a lot of people ask me like, why do you want to move?
Yeah,
So
why? Why? I was going to ask, why did you came to Spain?
I having some experience in United States and also part of Mexico. I was like, dealing with some clients. So I wanted to be an international agronomist, like, to have that. And this was the right age, because at the age of 30, like, in 30s, it's better to move around the world to know more. And I had this idea of business, but when that didn't kick in. So with the company I was tied up, I came here to know more of farmers and technical aspects, how the farmers feel, they think, what they work. And from there, after 3 or 4 years, I was thinking that maybe I could go independent. But 3 months from here, 3 months I was in Spain, I felt like, yes, I could start. So that's where I started. And the main difference, again, going back with the visas, is US is a lot more tougher, but it's the information very clearly.
Exactly, that's what I feel.
Spain, it takes a lot of time, and you need to have some help for sure, because probably 10 years after, a lot of people, like, started like feeling that, yes, Spain is one country where you can live very freely, and you have opportunities as freelancers. It will be a different scenario. But I had no clue after 3 months, and I know I set up the appointment with you, and
Yes,
within 20 minutes I know the answer for that question, like, what I have to do. I had two options: Cuento Propia, and then Entrepreneur. Those were
very
the
good.
two options. And you asked me like five different points, like, do you have clients, or you have already work? I said yes. That's Do you have financial stability? Yes, I have. And then, do you have the business plan? I said yes. And you also gave me confidence that yes, it's very, like, it's not a tough thing that you can get, because highly skilled employees have a, like, you can get the visa, like, for sure.
Yes, so the thing is, and for that, we are going to explain a little entrepreneur and freelance visa, because there are a lot of people interested, but really they don't know the difference. So I think it's a good way to explain it. I'm going to tell them that for you, because I'm never sure 100% about if they are going to approve the entrepreneur visa, because there is a requirement to be for the innovation, or to be good for the economy for Spain. That is not that clear. It's not that you have it or you don't have it. You have to submit the business plan, and they will tell you what they think. So I have references. I can say for sure which one doesn't comply with any requirements, but when I see that we may comply, I think it is a good way to it is a good thing to try it, because denying an entrepreneur business plan is nothing bad. So when I explain to my clients, to you, what I explain it is, okay, entrepreneur visa is a visa that is newer, okay, than the freelance visa. The law from this entrepreneur visa is more recent. So they have tried to give more benefits or solve the problems that the freelance visa has. But because it gives more benefits, we are not they are not giving these benefits to everyone. They just are giving these benefits for those business that they want to bring, that especially want to have in Spain. What does Spain want? Well, Spain want to bring innovation, to bring high qualified talent to come here and set their business, and businesses that are helping for the economy in Spain. For example, and a very good example is I do a lot of freelance visa as an English teacher. An English teacher is a very good business, but normally is not creating jobs, or normally is not helping as much to the economy as the ministry wants in order to go to the entrepreneurship visa. In your business, I thought it was very interesting because your business was about helping the agriculture to be more effective, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Exactly. So you know that, well, people know that in Spain we have a lot of agriculture. We have a lot of agriculture that we export to everywhere, but really there is not so much technology in Spain as we could have. And you brought it. Tell us about a little so they can understand why an entrepreneur was approved through the entrepreneur visa. What is your business doing?
My idea was to help farmers from the beginning till the, like, from the time they put the seed on soil till the end of the harvest. And after the harvest also, they still have to go through a lot of issues, like in to cut down the cost. And that's cut down the cost is mostly on business side. There's also a technical side, so I have to help the farmers in fertilizers, chemicals, reducing fertilizers, chemicals, and help them to sometimes blend the fertilizers, what has to be applied, how much has to be applied, with different irrigation systems. For example, greenhouse is a different irrigation system, and open fields is a different irrigation system. And so there's different managements. Every farmer is different, and his management style is different, and he has a different set of inputs and different crops. So all this I have to study and tell them that where he could reduce the cost without affecting his yields or quality, and where he could save the money, at the same time he could make the profits. Like for every dollar he spends, or every euro he spends, he needs to get the maximum efficiency out of that €1 or dollar he spends. And that's my agenda. And for that for that main reason, I also did an MBA to understand the farming economics, because a farmer, I can be a technical person because all my experience is for an agronomist is more of technical. But at the same time, if you develop something really expensive and which does not bring the farmers his returns, it's not. It is a good product, but at the same time, it's not efficient for the farmer. So I differentiate in the market. There's many products which are really good, but at the same time, with the price, they don't comply. So, and there are many products which farmer needs to has doesn't know like which one to apply. So he needs to be having some sort of consulting help with which one, which is the right product to choose. Like, well, it's more or less the same thing that I don't have the experience in the immigration law, so I need help from the consultant, like, from the company.
Yeah,
The
exactly,
same thing.
exactly.
So with farmers is the same thing. Yeah.
So if you see, Arjun had very good qualification, okay, very innovation, or giving lot of to the Spanish economy, because the agronomy is very important, the industry in Spain. But for example, he didn't have a big forecast of employees. You don't have right now any, or do you have one?
No,
No,
not yet. But I
exactly.
was like, in 2 years, I had a business plan after 2 years that I will have you. Yes.
Exactly, but just for the people to understand, it's not really that is you need to have a really big business with a lot of employees. So there are different kind of businesses, and it's not because you are going to have employees that is going to be approved or the other way around. It's not because he doesn't have employees now, it's going to be denied. In this case, both were approved. I was applying for both because there is something that really was strange for me but good, which was your freelance visa approval directly. Really, in Almeria, they didn't know a lot about immigration. So you depending on where you go and where you set your business, even we were speaking a lot with the immigration officers there because they were a little lost about it, which sometimes if they are willing to help is even better because we guide them as we want. The problem is when they don't know and they don't want to know, but in this case they wanted to be helpful, and they understood really well, and they understood that this was really good for the economy in Almeria. uh, in case the freelancer it was not approved, we will still be an entrepreneur. Why I recommended him, because both were approved, to stay as a freelance. I recommended him to stay as a freelance because entrepreneur visas they check them a lot, okay, and they check if you have followed strictly or nearly to strictly the business plan, and even that he's following the business plan, we never know. Imagine that was another kind of business and was really affected for like with the COVID or whatever. So we never know what is going to happen. And the general law, so a freelance visa, like the cuenta ajena, if you are an employee, is always more flexible. So the problem about entrepreneurship visa, highly qualified visa, is that they are tougher in criteria of earning salaries or benefits in the case of entrepreneur, of creating jobs if you say that you are going to create in 2 years, because I have found a lot of entrepreneurs from IE, for example, that submitted a good business plan, and because the good degrees that they have, the entrepreneur visa was approved, but suddenly the renewal came and they didn't comply with the renewal. So all the work that you do to have a residency, you lose it if you cannot renew it. So that is why it's not only choosing the option, it's choosing the best option for you. In this case, you could choose, and I chose the one that really was more flexible in case of maybe if you decrease income or whatever, it's not going to affect you as much as it would in an entrepreneur. But for example, if you had a family and you wanted your wife to work, maybe it was better the entrepreneurship visa, because the entrepreneurship visa allows your family to be here and work. The work and the freelance visa for the first year doesn't. You need to have to be here 1 year in order to do reunification. So all of this information, when you are telling me, I am seeing your needs, what you need now and what you want in the future, in order to decide what is better for you, because it's not better one, always one, because it is newer. It is, for example, in this case, is newer, is more comfortable because it's quicker to be solved. So the resolution is in 20 days, but on the other hand, it's tougher. So in this case, did they give it to you for 2 years or for one? Because sometimes I never see this when you do the fingerprints.
You mean cuenta propia?
The cuenta propia, yes.
Yes, I got it for 2 years.
The 2 years already. So
Yes.
in this case, as they should, because normally is what happens when you have been here for a year, the renewal, they give it to you for 2 years. The thing with Arjun and what Almeria, I think they didn't understand very well, but it was perfect for you, is that you really weren't here for a year. You were less.
No, actually 8 months, to be honest.
8 months, exactly.
Yeah.
And was
I was
perfect.
traveling.
They give it to you the next 2 years, so really better. But if they have another criteria, they could even give you only for 1 year. But normally, always when you modify from high qualified worker or researcher after a year, 90% of the time they give you a new project. Okay.
Oh, okay.
For the people to know. Okay.
But
Do
good
you?
for me.
They're really good for you. Yeah.
I was actually thinking initial. I thought it was for 1 year.
Exactly. A lot of people think that, but they are taking into account that you already have been for a year, or in your case, nearly for a year. And in the regular law, you always have 1 year, 2 years, 2 years, and the long-term residency. So they take into account that you have already been 1 year, even that you came from another law, and they give it to you for 2 years. What is important for you to know now? That you must be here in Spain for 6 months per year, and that you need to have an average of income. They don't really tell you in the law how much you have to earn, but I always say, okay, at least like a minimum salary. So at least after paying your taxes, we need to show that in the year we are having 12, 15,000 euros per year after paying all the taxes and the autonomo fee and everything. In his case, we did a company. He settled as an SSL, right?
Yes.
But you can decide if you don't want to have an SL, especially for freelance that they don't ask so many requirements. You could have been just a normal freelancer, but normally if you can have an SL, it's always better. They always like it more. They see it like it is more serious, like you are really putting an effort and seeing ahead and having plans in the future. That doesn't mean that every freelance needs to have an SL, a company. I have a lot of freelancers that just they are freelancers. But if whoever is seen as is planning to do entrepreneur or freelance and is willing to do the SL, is immigration like it's a lot.
I can use the company name for freelance.
Excuse me?
Can I use a company name for the freelance?
What do you mean, like a company name?
That the company which I registered for SL, I can
Yes.
use for freelance. You can still use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
You can still use it. You can still use, but it's not mandatory to have it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
But it is better to have it. Immigration like it's more. Okay.
Okay.
Do you think there is something that you want to give advice regarding researcher, regarding the business, doing a business here? Do you want to tell us something for the people?
Yes. Well, to have a, I mean, if to become a freelancer, it's really good. I mean, in Spain, it's possible for I mean, people who have high education. For example, a lot of IT employees, I mean, one of my friends, they have master's degrees from United States. All they have to do is have the contracts. I mean, even if it's a small project which will have some sort of revenue generating, have a particular business plan, and and have a very good lawyer, of course. So I would recommend, I mean, Stana Abogados, like, and explain the situation and where you want to get settled down, have all the paperwork ready, and have a lot of patience. So that's one thing I really want to
Yes.
tell to the clients, like, just have patience, and one day you will see that yes, your resolution is approved, and in within a month or two you will get your residency card.
How did you how did you get your clients? How did you manage to do the contacts and have this? Because when you show me the business plan, you already have your pictures with going
Mm.
to the places and with the clients visiting their places. So how did you do it?
I was already working with the farmers in US, so
Okay,
when I
so
told them that I want to get,
when you were working in the US, you were already giving services to Spain, right?
yeah, yes,
Okay.
to the farmers in US.
Okay, okay,
But
but
once, like, I just had that moment that okay, I have to go to another country to explore what is happening. So I came to Spain, but I didn't like the work. I wanted to be more of independent, and then I again started talking to the farmers, like, that I'm going to be independent now, but 40% to 50% of my work would be remote, and during the season I would travel to US to give all the analysis and whatever has to be done. So they agreed, and everything worked out very well.
okay.
Yes.
This is good because maybe, well, now I know that the economy is going to be affected in every country, of course, but in the US, sometimes it seems if we watch the news, which is not always what you live there when you are there, but from here we see that maybe Trump is going to be even tougher with economy, is going to be even closing more borders in order to protect the American employees there. So maybe it is a good thing for good, highly, as you say, good, highly qualified workers that maybe they're now they are not so protected by the laws because here in Spain we are more protected, we have more subsidies, everything. Maybe they have a better future in a short period of time. Maybe it's a better future here. We don't know, we will see, but maybe you are an inspiration to them.
Oh, thank you. Well, for yes, a lot of IT employees work remotely from home, and they could do the same. Coming moving to Spain, one advantage, big advantage, is the tax is comparatively low, and if they are giving services to the clients in United States or outside European Union, they don't have to pay tax for value added tax, and
I'm doing a lot of entrepreneurship visa now, and it's true of really good consultants, really specialized in their area, in their industry. Maybe they are the best of the 20 best of their industry, and they can work wherever, and they are settling in Spain because it is Europe. It is sometimes it is cheaper than some other countries, and the law and the Ministry of Economy here is looking to bring talent. They are not so worried about if the client is outside. Talking about entrepreneurships in freelance visa, that they are not so modern. They are a little bit more afraid about this. They don't really understand the remote contracts in the entrepreneur visa, because they are like more highly qualified. Also, the people that resolve the business plan and everything, they understand it better. And yes, it is a good option for those that are well prepared and have all over the world the clients.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful country to live in, right? You
Well,
moved to the United States also, right?
I was in the United
Yeah.
States. Yes, I studied there a master's in law, and it was good. I like it. There are things that I like it even more, but there are others. I don't know if it's because I was born here or really because it's better here. There are others that I miss a lot, like the way of living here. But there they have, like, they are more, I think, practical sometimes in some things. Well,
Yes.
let's see if we have some doubts. I don't know if Raquel
Mhm.
is there. Well, I'm seeing here whenever yeah, so here we can have all kind of doubts, okay?
Okay.
So
Yes.
let's see some. Look, it's a PhD, okay? And he says, I'm currently doing my PhD with on national researcher work permit with a public university. Is the same as highly qualified visa? If it's not, how can I migrate to the highly qualified visa? Yes, so it's the same law. It's not really the same. It doesn't say the same, but as we were saying, it has the same benefits, and also the same. So you also have to comply with very similar requirements. This is very interesting because I have the other day I have a consultation, and just for someone who is even if they are listening us, I had a researcher from some time ago, okay? And some time ago, the law was different, okay? They went through another law. That is the normal one. And it had it renewed, okay? So he had a cuenta ajena, a normal cuenta ajena. He got another researcher position, and the company made modify his cuenta ajena that was of the second year to the researcher visa of now. And that was a bad decision, because as I told you, different laws, different requirements. Because he was in a second year of a cuenta ajena, the normal cuenta ajena, it allows you to change jobs, okay? So the cuenta ajena, it doesn't fix you to a company or to a program. If you change jobs, it's okay as long as you work 6 months per year. The same happened with a cuenta propia, that is the one that you have. It doesn't matter if you change business and now you want to open something quite different. It will be okay as long as you have benefits, okay? In this case, because the company they didn't know very well the law, and they told him to switch to the researcher visa, and now he lost the job. And the bad thing about that, okay, is that when you are in the highly qualified worker visa or the researcher visa, you are attached to the program that you are. It's like you, Arjun, you wanted to leave your program, so I needed to change your status. You couldn't continue as a researcher, leaving your research. I needed to modify it to something, and this happened to him. It had a little problem because the researcher plan was not continuing, but because he has a researcher visa, he was stuck a little, and if he had the cuenta ajena, was okay. In the case of the person that was asking me, that it was Samson, I think,
Yes.
we have to see his PhD, but if it's from 2 years ago, it is the actual law, and he has to continue with that program, or if he finishes his program, he can continue even renewing for a year. They give you like a year to look for another research program. But he can also do like you. He can also, if he has a project, he can, but he needs to change to entrepreneur, or to cuenta ajena, to cuenta propia, to whatever he wants to do. So the bad thing about the highly qualified and researcher is that you cannot modify a lot your conditions. So you need to stick to what to your plan, to your company, to your program. And if you want to change, you need to change your kind of visa. And this is what you did, changing.
Yes. I mean, thankfully it worked. It's just like I was lost. I was lost, and what you did was two options, and the gathering paperwork was one of the things. Like, to have the important thing was to have contracts, and all the paperwork which is required for the visa.
So the real problem would have been if you leave your program, the research job, and you didn't do anything. That would be the problem, because whenever you have to renew it, or whenever they check your status, they would have canceled your residency, and that is what cannot happen. So when we are going to change our way of life, or job, or project, whatever, it is fine, but we need to modify our visa, and it's what you did. And
Yes.
so you are okay.
Yes.
Okay, Raquel was putting Vera, I think. Here it is. Let me. Vera Black say, transfer or take over of business from a British national. How does it work? Do my partner in the business and I need to have an entrepreneurship visa, transfer or take over of business from a British national? So think something British, okay? The thing about a British person now is that you can still be like a European Union citizen, okay? So European Union citizens have easiest way to get here the residency, a work permit. Is not automatic, okay? But it is easiest. So if you are British and you show that you want to open here a business, and you enroll as a freelance, or you settle your own company, or you have your company in Britain, and you show that you have financial means to be here, is going to be fine, no more than that. But after December, from now, we know that the date is December. Maybe it keeps changing, but the British people will not be with the European Union citizen laws anymore. So in this case, they will be like all of the other extra community countries. So it says, I am Filipino who wants to take over a British business. Okay, but an English school. Okay, but it's fine. It's really fine. So that your British school, if it's here, which I imagine, it can be a freelance or an entrepreneurship visa. We need to study a little. For sure, as I'm telling you, for sure, a freelance visa is going to be, because a freelance visa with a company is always a business that is always give benefits, is going to be it's going to comply with the requirements. So what we need to see if we can show it this as something that can go through entrepreneurship visa. We can see the business, the school, if there is something in innovation about this school that is different from the others, or it is better for the economy in some way. But if not, for sure, it will be a good business to get a freelance visa. The only thing about the freelance visa is that family members are not included. We will have to find a way to bring your family if you have family, but make sure about and maybe you want to do the business with your family. So you are a woman and a man that you are married, and you want to do both the business. So the thing is that we need to show the resume, the degrees, everything for both, because it's not enough to be just a business partner, just put the money. We need to be involved in the business. This is very important. It's not, in order to have a work permit here, only the only ones that just put in the money, give you the residency and work permit, are the investor visas, which is really big money. Okay, 500,000 euros in real estate, or 1 million euros in shares of a company. But if that is not the case, in order to have the work permit, you need to really show that you're going to carry out the business. It's not only necessary that you have 50% or whatever percentage you have of the shares of the company. You need to show that you are ready to carry out the business because of your profile. And also, one important thing, we can have a company before applying and before having the work permit, and it's even better. It will help you more. So people think they cannot open a LLC, well, a LLC in Spain, which is an SL, okay, if they don't have a work permit, and that is not that way, okay? You can have a company, you can have the 100% of the shares of the company without having the work permit. And it's with that we will show it that we will get your work permit, okay? Just in case someone is thinking about having a company and they don't know that they can have it before the freelance visa. Okay, Leta says, I'm on a student visa, which will expire in July. In September, I will be 3 years in Spain. I have a work contract with job in RDA. Research, what is RDA?
It's research, development, and innovation.
What?
Research, development, and innovation.
Yes, research, development, yes, because you use so many letters that I get lost. Okay. Should I apply for regular work permit or researcher permit? Okay. Very, very good question. So as I'm saying, there are good and bad things about both. Okay. For example, if you want to get that job as a highly qualified worker, okay, or researcher, you can even do it now. You don't have to wait for the 3 years to expire and do the modification. So a good thing about researcher, high qualified worker, is that you can do it here even as a tourist, or whenever you are studying for a year or whatever. While for normal cuenta ajena, you really need to be for 3 years. In this case, you comply with both, okay? You comply with being able to go through high qualified worker or researcher, okay? Or modifying to cuenta ajena. If you are not in a hurry, I will choose modifying to the normal visa, the cuenta ajena. Why? Because as I told you, you are not attached to that company, okay? So if you want to switch company, you will be able to do it. before doing a modification to cuenta ajena was a little complicated because there is a personal appointment at immigration, and it's the company who has to go. And sometimes they don't like it a lot. But now, because of the COVID, they have changed things and we can do everything remotely. Because, for example, entrepreneur, high qualified worker, researcher, because out of the new law, it was already telematic. We could do it online, and this is much better. In this case, for this modification, from now, from the COVID, they have changed for a better situation. They have changed so the company can do it also in a remote way, so electronically. And if I were you, I would try to do the modification to cuenta ajena if you are not in a hurry, because you could switch jobs whenever you want, and even if you lose your job, it doesn't happen anything. As long as you work 6 months per year, it's okay. In a researcher visa, in a highly qualified visa, you need to be working always. If you are fired, if you get fired, your residency gets in trouble. So you see why there is no always a good option so clearly. But for example, if you tell me that you have family and you want your family to work, then maybe it is better to get the highly qualified or the researcher visa. So it depends on your circumstances. But if you don't have family and you want to wait until doing the modification, because when did she say? When was expiring?
July. Yeah.
In July. So we are now in May, June, July. We can nearly do it because the modification is we can do it 3 months before, when you modify after 3 years as a student to the work permit. So you can nearly do it. So if you don't have family, I really recommend to do cuenta ajena. It can take longer than a researcher or highly qualified, because those are mandatory to be resolved in 20 days, and this could take longer, but they are resolving much quicker. So I'm sure that in maximum 2 months it is resolved. But you have to consider that if the company is willing to wait for you maybe for 2 months, I think so, because you are doing the modification 3 months before. Or if they are in a hurry. If they are in a hurry, it is better to go to researcher or high qualified worker. Okay, Gico says, hi, I started with a student permit in October 2017, and then I got a permiso de residencia en prácticas valid until 2021. This coming October 2020, I will be 3 years in Spain. Can I maybe modify my visa to cuenta ajena? So this is a very good question, because he has a lot of concepts that are mixed, okay? Because the modification to cuenta ajena, okay, you can do it after 3 years of a student, okay? If you are not a student anymore, because Raquel, put it again, he's not a student anymore, he's in practicas, okay? He already has a residency. I don't know if, because the practicas one can be from 6 months to 2 years. So he get a permiso de residencia de prácticas valid until January 2021. But what he needs to know is that whenever he has been 1 year as residencia en prácticas, only 1 year, he can switch to cuenta ajena. So you need 3 years only if you are a student. If you have any kind of residency, like this one, residencia de prácticas, after a year, you can switch to cuenta ajena, and it's better. Why? Because in prácticas, you are also attached to the company, and if the company now closed because of the recession of the economy, you can lose your residency. So as soon as you can modify, okay, your visa, and this is in a year of residency, you can modify to cuenta ajena, okay? So really, sometime before, okay, we can modify it. You can already modify to cuenta ajena, and the good thing, as I was saying, is that now there is no personal appointment. The company doesn't have to go there. We can do remotely, which is much better, because if you have to say to the company that they have to go to an appointment, they don't want. Arjun, I don't know if you know about this practicas visa. Do you know about it or not?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, and
Yes,
for
please.
those who doesn't know this, so in the new laws also, this was 2 years ago, they come up with 2 good residencies for talent for the talent to stay here, because if you have finished here a degree or a master's degree, okay, they give you a 1-year residency of búsqueda de empleo. If you don't have a job yet, or your project, okay, they give you a year of búsqueda de empleo, or to create your own business plan and be looking for clients in order to be prepared. And whenever you are prepared, you switch to prácticas, that is the other one, new one, or to cuenta propia, that is the one that you have, okay? Which is, the prácticas is very good, because you need to have a degree or master's degree, but they just ask for the minimum salary, because you know that the highly qualified worker visa, they have very high salaries, so 40,000 euros, 30,000 euros if you are if you are under 30 years old, but there are very good masters here. But someone that has finished the master's degree in a very good business university, but doesn't have experience, normally in Spain, they don't get a job paid in 40,000 euros or 30,000 euros. So they come up with these practicas visa that is just with the minimum salary, but you can earn more, but you don't have those high rates. From the minimum salary, they can give it to you. And the good thing about this is not that you need to have the degree or master's degree from here. You can even have it from your own country. So if you get a degree or master's degree in India in the last 2 years, and you get here a job offer, even if it's not 40,000 euros per year, you can get the permit and they give it to you in a month. So it's really good for like new talent to stay here, because if not, what happened is that maybe an Indian student came here, they did a master, but they need to leave because they could not get a job as high qualified or researcher, because with the researcher they are not so tough with the salary, because they came with programs, but not everyone gets, and not everyone is a researcher, okay? So the other option was only the high qualified worker or entrepreneur visa, and maybe people are not ready to have, you told us you were nearly 10 years in the US getting experience and so on, to be ready now to do the entrepreneur visa. So there was something in the middle missing, and now we have it, like him. He was a student, now he has a practicas, and when he finished these practicas in a year, so maybe he has a practicas for 2 years, but after the first year, he can switch to a cuenta ajena and he can be free. And also, you need to know that you can be cuenta ajena or cuenta propia, or you can ask for compatibilidad. So there are people that maybe they want to be freelancers, but maybe they are not going to have enough clients from the beginning. So they may have a job in cuenta ajena and do the freelance, their business at the same time until they get more and more clients, and maybe they want to focus just in the freelance thing. So just for you to know, you get one or the other, but you can ask for the compatibilidad if you want. So if you want to now, imagine that you want to be an employee also, you could, but we need to ask for the compatibilidad.
Oh, nice. Not anymore, but it's an interesting part. Like, because you have more options.
More options.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't know if there are more doubts, Raquel. Raquel is not listening us, I think. let me check it. Jico said, "Oh, wow, that's great." Well, we have been already for an hour, so I think it's perfect. What do you think about? Did you learn something?
Yes, one compare the last one was interesting, and then you said people who wants to finish after masters, they want to
De la búsqueda de empleo is very one. Yeah, and it's not only búsqueda de empleo, it's also for the ones who want to settle a business. So it's not very easy to be ending a master's degree, so with the exam, with everything, and at the same time doing the business plan and looking for clients and for suppliers and for everything. So they tell you, okay, I give you a year for that, but you don't have to be the whole year. Thank you, Mark. You don't have to be the whole year. If you are ready after 3 months, you switch after 3 months. So really, the law in Spain, immigration law, is improving for the talent to be here, because before, like 5 years before, was really sometimes was impossible to stay here in Spain to do your own project, and was a shame, because we really have good education here and good masters, and a lot of students from all over the world came here, but they had to go. And now, to improve this economy, they know that we need talent from all over the world. So we need your knowledge from the US, from India, from all over the world, and those are the strongest economy. You see the US, and it's all mixed. You see London, well, Britain, and you see all the culture mixture, and I think that those are the business that really work, right?
Yes. Wherever we have more integration of people, it's actually very well developed economy, you can see. In fact,
yes.
Madrid and Barcelona, I think they are really good also.
Exactly. Madrid and Barcelona, there are where there are more, but look, where is the industry? You are in Almeria.
Yes, it's very nice. You see completely almost 30,000 hectares of greenhouses. For a new agronomist who sees this, it's a great opportunity. You can meet farmers. I mean, all those greenhouses are 1 hectare, 2 hectares. So we are probably talking about like 30 to 40,000 farmers, different individuals, where so much knowledge you can gain from them, talking to people.
And with the COVID, because I saw, for example, that they were having to throw away all the fruits and everything. Did you feel the consequence in your business?
No, not yet, because I haven't explored in Almeria very much, because by the time I got my permit and started working, we had the lockdown. So I'm hoping, like, by September everything gets fine and I have more establishment here.
Okay.
But since there's no people for harvesting, there's a lot of food going for waste. So that's one issue which we see here and in United States. Like everything is labor harvested.
Yeah.
70 to 80% of the produce. So
in any case, they have to keep growing. Yes. They cannot stop the no, even if they are not selling, they cannot stop, because I think I'm not an expert, but I think they have to be working all the fields, right? They cannot leave it like that
Yeah,
and stop
you're right.
working.
You're right. Because at the end of the day, we have to have something to eat, and agriculture has to continue. And I'm
Exactly.
sure governments from here or in all over the world, they will find a way to bring immigration agriculture workers to for the harvest, because it's one of the important fact that if we want to have something on the table, we need to have people for the working on the farms.
Okay, yes, we will see what happened, because it's not easy. They are not coming, they are not crossing borders, and but they are not allowing even people that don't have work permit here to, but they are here to work in the harvest. So we will see what the ministry say, because there are so many things to fix now that I think is getting everything a little messed up. But I hope everything is good for you, for your business,
Thank you.
and that you are safe and sound for sure.
Thank you.
And well, thank you for being here, and let us know what happened with the business. Let us know if you change something.
Yes, yes, of
Remember,
course.
changes are okay, but we need to do the immigration procedures in order not to be affected by those
Yes,
changes.
yes.
Okay?
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you to all. Bye.